Good afternoon, and welcome to Edwards Hall and the State of the University Address. Before we begin this afternoon's program, please take note of your nearest exit. Exits are located at the front and the rear of the auditorium. Accessible restrooms are located on the ground floor level, and additional restrooms are located on the lower level. The program will begin shortly. Please take your seats and silence your cell phones. Once again, welcome to the State of the University Address. Immediately following this afternoon's event, please join President Mark Parlange and members of the university community for a reception at the Alumni Center. And now, please welcome to the stage the 12th President of the University of Rhode Island, Mark Parlange.
So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. I want to start today's event with the University of Rhode Island's land acknowledgement, written in partnership with the Narragansett tribe, and in honor of the people who lived on and stewarded the land where URI now resides. The University of Rhode Island occupies the traditional stomping ground of the Narragansett Nation and the Niantic people. We honor and respect the enduring and continuing relationship between the indigenous people and this land by teaching and learning more about their history and present-day communities, and by becoming stewards of the land we, too, inhabit. So before I begin my remarks this afternoon, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the very real pain that many members of our university community are experiencing through tragedies happening around the world. These tragedies touch families, friends, and loved ones, and they fill us with despair and often anger. And over this past challenging year, I have met with many of you, and I will continue to listen. And I emphasize that our mission at URI is to provide an educational and a research environment in which everyone is welcomed, supported, and safe. Our colleges, our centers, our institutes are working to foster dialogue and understanding, and resources are available through offices of student affairs, community equity and diversity, and human resources to provide support when you need it. And our student organizations are building a strong peer support system. I am so grateful to each of you for how you have supported each other during this difficult time. It's part of what really makes URI the truly special place that it is. A place where you belong. And now I'm pleased to welcome members of the university's Board of Trustees who are joining us today, and I want to thank everyone who's also watching online. I am so glad to see all of you gathered here today in Edwards Hall. I made a joke when we were opening the Fine Arts Bean signing ceremony last week, and that we had more RSVPs for that event than we did for the State of the University Day. So I'm very glad it wasn't just me and Mary that were here, so thank you for making me feel better. So this past year has been one of tremendous growth and success for URI. The governor said last week I was one of the most competitive university presidents he's met, and I say when it comes to URI, you bet I am. And here are some of the numbers I will gladly boast about. URI was ranked the #1 public university in New England. It's a little publication called the Wall Street Journal, and it was really pleasing to see when they ranked the top 500 US colleges and universities. Last year, we had 27,000, a record number of first-year undergraduate applications we received for the fall of '24. And so a big shout out to Dean Labudi and the entire admissions team for getting us here. Rhode Island's men's track and field collect its fourth straight A10 outdoor track and field title and eighth consecutive conference crown during the 2024 spring season. And Rhode Island's women's rowing won its 10th A10 championship in program history. $4,700, that's the number of degrees that were awarded in May during 3 days of commencement celebrations, with a very special appearance and an incredibly moving speech by honorary doctorate recipient Viola Davis. URI's College of Pharmacy is now ranked among the top 10% in the US in total research grant funding, with more than 21 million received in the 22-23 academic year. And 15 URI students received Black Scholar Awards for outstanding achievements this past year. 1.8 kilowatt hours of energy are produced each year by the solar arrays on our award-winning covered parking project. And more than 60% of all active pharmacists in the state graduated from URI. URI's Bachelor of Nursing program was just ranked in the top 7% in the nation, according to the US News and World Report. And $300 million is the goal we set and exceeded for our capital campaign, Big Ideas, Bold Plans. It was made possible by more than 34,000 donors, including alumni, family, friends, faculty, staff, corporations, and foundations. And finally, 2. That's the number I want you to remember when you go to the ballot box in November. Vote yes on 2. Rhode Islanders, to help secure URI an $87.5 million bond to build a new state-of-the-art biomedical sciences building that will help support URI's life-changing research in everything from dementia and Lyme disease to Alzheimer's and ALS. Look, seeing these numbers fills me with immense pride. I am so proud of all that we have accomplished this year, and we did it together. In February of 2023, at our first State of the University event, we launched our 10-year strategic plan, and since then, it has served as our roadmap. It has helped us navigate challenges and seize opportunities. This plan helped set us ambitious goals with a collective vision and a commitment to increasing our impact on the state and in our communities, fostering a diverse, welcoming, and people-centered culture, supporting our students and faculty in their educational and research endeavors, and building a university equipped to meet the demands of a world that needs our leadership and innovation. Today, I'm pleased to share that we have made significant strides toward reaching these goals, and we are on a path for continued success. Later, you will hear more from members of our community who have helped shape and have equally been shaped by URI. And I want to take a moment to highlight more of the people now and the programs that have made a real difference this past year. Our first strategic priority is about our impact on the state, the region, and the world. And when I consider the many successes we've celebrated this year, I am grateful for Rhode Islanders who supported several bonds that have helped us physically transform our campus. We officially began phase 2 of the Narragansett Bay campus revitalization project. This was supported by a $100 million bond and the long-awaited start of the construction of a new fine arts center made possible by a $57.3 million bond. Through these 2 projects alone, we are positioning ourselves as leaders in the blue economy, helping to attract companies, inspire startups, support ocean-related research, and with the new fine arts facilities, we will better support the creative endeavors of our students, staff, faculty, and alumni while bringing the broader community to our Kingston campus. We also welcome 3 accomplished educators and practitioners to leadership roles. Dean Carrie LaPlante in the College of Pharmacy, Dean Danny Willis in the College of Nursing, and Dean Patrick Vivier in the College of Health Sciences, who are actively shaping the impact URI has in critical areas of healthcare. When I think about our research, I'm inspired by work of faculty, for instance, like Emi Usheda. She's a professor in environmental and natural resource economics, and she was one of 6 recipients recognized this year by the Pew Fellows Program in Marine Conservation for her work in ecosystem loss in the Western Pacific. Nicole Logan, assistant professor in the Department of Kinesiology, is doing important work on the impact of physical activity of children with ADHD. And through groundbreaking research on offshore wind, URI is pioneering sustainable energy solutions, and faculty like David Bidwell, who's an associate professor of marine affairs, are working directly with local communities to measure whether the promise of offshore wind development is actually delivering as promised, especially for marginalized and low-income communities. William Van Nostrand, who's joined us today, who's the co-executive director of the Ryan Institute, is bringing hope to the fight against Alzheimer's. He's part of an international consortium that's studying brain disorders associated with Alzheimer's disease. Jamie Ross, an assistant professor of biomedical and pharmaceutical sciences, and fellow URI researchers are studying the potential health impacts of microplastics on mammals and the potential negative effects and the inflammatory response to exposure to microplastics. And a multidisciplinary research team led by Brendan Phillips, URI Associate Professor of Ocean Engineering, has successfully demonstrated new technology that can obtain preserved tissue and high-resolution 3D images within minutes of encountering some of the most fragile animals in the deep ocean, which is helping to reshape marine exploration, shaving years from the process of determining whether a new or rare species has been discovered. Through the work of our researchers, the university is not only advancing new knowledge, but driving meaningful change and setting a new standard for how a flagship public research university can contribute to the betterment of society and the global human condition. Our second strategic priority is about fostering and supporting a people-centered culture, dedicated to making a URI education attainable and affordable for all, particularly in light of our very challenging year with federal changes to student aid. I am proud that we awarded a record amount of student financial aid, more than $150 million, including to talent development and Narragansett Scholarship students. Over the course of the COVID-19 pandemic, approximately 775 students who were in good academic standing left the university. And now, led by the Office of Enrollment Services, URI has made a concerted effort to reconnect with these students to help them consider their next steps and remind them they're still part of the university. A number have come back and many more were in conversations and they're considering their return. Every day, URI is preparing students to lead. As the top finishers in the global sustainability supply chain case competition, URI College of Business students played a major role in helping to solve real-world supply chain and sustainability problems. The competition attracted 250 students from more than 30 colleges and universities from around the world. And out of 71 teams, URI students took home the gold and the bronze in the paired teams category. Ten URI undergraduate students were selected to receive the prestigious Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship, which enables American students to gain proficiency in diverse languages and cultures, skills that are critically important to their academic and career development. The program makes it possible for students to study or intern abroad. URI has had more than 100 Gilman Scholars, placing us among the top 20 institutions recognized for the support of equity, diversity, and accessibility in studying abroad programming. Jasmine Valdivi Sanchez, who's a junior majoring in political science and gender and women's studies, is one of only 100 students nationally to earn the competitive Obama Chesky Scholarship for Public Service by the Obama Foundation. She is the second URI student to win the scholarship in its first 2 years. So last fall, we introduced a new fall commencement ceremony to celebrate undergraduate and graduate students who complete degree requirements during the fall semester. Many of the nearly 800 students who complete studies in the fall are employed or in graduate school by the time we come to the traditional May commencement ceremonies and may not have had the flexibility to return to campus. The new celebration was energetic and introduced a new tradition for graduates and families to celebrate their achievement. 6 URI sophomores were awarded the competitive National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Ernest F. Hollings Undergraduate Scholarship. The award is the most prestigious scholarship granted to undergraduates in the marine and atmospheric sciences. This marks the 16th consecutive year that URI students have been named Hollings Scholars. In this vibrant community, students are not only encouraged to excel academically, but are also supported in their personal growth and development, preparing them to make meaningful contributions to society and the world. Fostering an inclusive culture is at the heart of strategic priority 3. At URI, we are dedicated to cultivating a diverse, equitable, and inclusive community where every member's uniqueness is celebrated and valued, and we are making strides to build in, not bolt on, inclusivity and diversity in everything we do. Thank you, Markeisha Miner, for that motto. Our College of Pharmacy is working with high school students around the state, teaching them about natural, therapeutic plants and herbal medicines, while helping to stimulate interest in science, technology, engineering, and math. We launched a new tradition during the spring semester celebrating employees for 5-year milestones of service. The new program adds to our Lifetime Service Awards program and gives us an opportunity to bring employees together, promote collaboration and fellowship, and reward excellence, and express real gratitude for commitment to URI. We honored the late Earl Smith with the university's first ever Inclusive Excellence Lifetime Achievement Award. The award was one of 10 presented during our Inclusive Excellence Awards dinner and ceremony. Earl served for more than 20 years as Associate Dean in the College of Arts and Sciences, where he promoted student engagement, retention, and success. Tasha Brown, Assistant Professor in Urban Education and Secondary Social Studies, is creating and implementing more inclusive curriculum through her collaboration with Black educators from Rhode Island's urban middle and high schools. She is one of 25 applicants from over 240 nationally to be awarded a prestigious and highly competitive National Academy of Education Spencer Fellowship for her work. The URI Enhancing Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math Educational Diversity Program, led by Associate Professor Samantha Menek, is helping students from underrepresented groups pursue studies in undergraduate bioengineering and bioscience research programs. And eventually, those students apply to graduate school in these disciplines. The university is not only enriching the academic experience, but is also reinforcing a culture of giving back, where every individual has the support to thrive and contribute meaningfully to society. And finally, strategic priority 4 is about our foundation, laying the groundwork to help build and power a university of the future. We thank Governor Dan McKee, Speaker of the House Joe Shekarchi, Senate President Dominic Ruggiero, and all the members of the General Assembly for their renewed investment in URI. This past year, building on the momentum of increased state support, we initiated the development of a new URI budget model. The framework for the model better aligns our resources with strategic priorities, promotes innovation, and diversifies our revenue streams. Extensive community collaboration has been vital in driving this transformative change for a model that ultimately helps enhance transparency and builds financial predictability and sustainability for the years to come. As a flagship research university, we must continue to innovate. We must continue to serve the state and all Rhode Islanders, and we must continue to lead in areas of impact for the region and for the world. This coming year gives us more opportunities to build the university we all want to be part of and that we all want to feel proud of. We have many areas of focus, but this coming year will require even more strategic investment in areas that have the potential to really set us apart. Looking ahead, I hope that we continue to enhance and strengthen our engagement with alumni, the ambassadors, and the URI storytellers who help seed that deep Rhodey pride. For those that work with alumni, who are alumni, and who will soon become alumni, keep sharing the URI story. And as some of you may have heard, and it's really hard to keep a secret when it's published on the front page of the Boston Globe, we will begin to explore a College of Medicine at URI through a special legislative study commission. This is really thanks and led by the Senate President Dominic Ruggiero. We will work together to determine how URI can build on the significant contributions we already make to preventative health care at URI to further meet the healthcare needs of the state, including addressing the primary care shortage. I look forward to continuing to raise our research enterprise through a new biomedical sciences facility, vote yes on 2, through the growth of our master's and doctoral programs, and through initiatives that drive economic development, including building innovation hubs on our campuses. We have a vibrant research ecosystem, and I want to see us all thrive. We must continue to strengthen our partnership and collaboration with the state, creating programs and experiential learning opportunities that meet the needs of Rhode Islanders and all of our students. This year, I hope you will join me and seek out ways to elevate our community members, celebrate each other more often, and find opportunities to come together. Faculty and staff colleagues, I hope you sign up to participate in commencement ceremonies, head out to the quad for student events, and join me on the lawn for celebrations like Juneteenth. I also look forward to creating spaces that truly serve the needs of all our staff, students, and faculty. We will continue to implement our new budget model. We will explore and reimagine the way we use our buildings. We will complete a comprehensive campus plan, including student housing options, and we will launch and support a true sustainability effort on the Kingston campus. And I finally have to say, I look forward to figuring out how to use Instagram. So please, you can actually take out your phone. You can follow me here for live updates on everything from rugby to research to impromptu games of horse with the governor. And sorry, Mary, but I do hope I have more followers than the URI Chickens Instagram account this year. Look, it's been a terrific year, and I know that our future is brighter because of the work that we all do here. And I really want to thank you for all that you contribute to our community. And let's keep moving forward together with purpose and with pride. Thank you, and go Rhode. And now I want to welcome three members of our community to share their URI stories. Shayla Donahoe, head coach of women's rowing, who has led championship caliber teams during her tenure. Bhavya Chatragada, an undergraduate student in her senior year doing incredible research in neuroscience. And Travis Smalley, assistant professor of printmaking in the College of Arts and Sciences, who's at the forefront of using and exploring artificial intelligence in fine art. Each of them has found personal and professional success with a unique URI experience to share. Please join me in thanking them for being with us today.
Please welcome to the stage women's rowing head coach, Shayla Donahoe.
Let's go! This is my classroom. Okay, that's it. No, only kidding. Only kidding. Well, that was from our A10 championship that we won last year. First, I've been coaching for 30 years. And this is my 19th year here at URI. You know, and in that time, we've won 10 Atlantic 10 championships, and we've made numerous appearances at NCAA, and we've actually traveled internationally, which I have my nice Henley jacket on, for 3 times over my career here. But when I look at my job, it's not just about teaching rowing. It's about empowering young women to become strong, confident leaders who believe they can achieve anything they set their minds to do. You know, in how we sustain success, I just wanted to go over some of the things that I feel are really important. First, I couldn't do this without my assistant coaches. And I know they're out there somewhere. They work extremely hard, often putting in long hours, and their knowledge of the sport is invaluable. And we always have each other's backs. And I want to thank Jessica Lizzie and Katie Shattuck and Ellen White for everything that they do. The athletes, the student athletes, we practice 6 days a week, starting at 5:45 a.m. When most kids are coming home from their nights, my rowers are going out for their morning work. These women work incredibly hard, striving to meet the gold medal standard in everything they do. And that's in the classroom and athletics and in the community. We couldn't do anything we do here at the university without our great support of the president, of Thor, which I know the athletic director is out here, our administrators, and the fellow coaches. Community. It's one of our pillars, you know, to go out in the community and to give back for everything that we have. We've developed strong relationships with members of our community who help us in unconventional ways. People like Matt Eddy helps me put my docs in every year. That's huge. Diane Sullivan helps me have fundraising parties. The community is a huge support to my program. And I think our program, you know, one of the things is we've learned to do more with less, ensuring we make the most of every resource we have. We build a system that prioritizes pride in upholding our legacy of success. The world of rowing continues to evolve, and we have to make sure we stay on the cutting edge of technology and trends. When challenges arise, which you guys know they always do, we face them with determination, and we find quick, effective solutions. If something isn't working, which a lot of times that happens, my launch doesn't work in the morning. This morning I was driving the launch over to the boathouse, I got a flat. A lot of things happen. You have to learn how to pivot, and you can't be afraid of pivoting and finding a better way forward. To stay competitive, we recognize that we have to do better to stay the same. And what I mean by that is we won A10s last year, but to win it again this year, we have to be better. And one thing as a coach, and one thing I'll never waver on, are my own values. Hard work. You can't cheat the hard work. Success comes through effort and dedication. Rules apply equally to the top athlete, to the newcomer. And this principle is more important than winning itself. Without it, you won't win. Consistency and expectations is critical from day to day to athlete to athlete. I try to be transparent in everything I do. Being honest and being truthful. I believe in having hard conversations. These are the moments that allow the athletes to reach their highest potential. And in my closing thoughts, the ultimate goal is to teach our athletes that anything is possible. Hard work pays off. The lessons they learn from rowing will serve them well beyond their times here at URI. They will go on and do great things, armed with the lessons and the values they've learned through this program and through this university. So thank you, and thank you, Mark, for having me speak today. And I like that one, number one. I like to keep that. So thank you, everyone.
Please welcome URI student Bhavya Shatragata.
Good afternoon, and thank you, everyone. I am so grateful for the opportunity to share a bit about my URI experience and why URI was the perfect choice for me, and how it's prepared me for the exciting next step in my journey. Just a little bit more about me. My name is Bhavya Chatragata, and I'm a senior from Lincoln, Rhode Island, majoring in molecular neuroscience and microbiology. I've always wanted to stay in state for college, and I'm extremely happy that I chose URI. Fortunately, I will be continuing my education after graduating at Brown Medical School, to which I've been recently admitted through the Early Identification Program, and I'm more than happy that I get to stay local for medical school. I'm super thrilled to be able to stay in state, and I hope that one day I'll be a practicing provider in Rhode Island. My interest in medicine began at a very young age, and in addition to being a doctor and learning about the human body, I've always wanted to understand medicine from its starting at its most fundamental level, which is the cell. As a result, I began my time at URI in the fall of 2021 with an interest in cell biology and aging, and knew that research was something that I wanted to get involved with. I was pleasantly surprised when I learned about all the amazing research taking place here, and I reached out to Dr. Fellini, whose lab focuses on cellular changes involved with neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and ALS. I shadowed in her lab my first semester of college and began working in her lab the following spring. For the past couple semesters, I've been working on my own project exploring the neuroprotective effects of cannabinoids on stroke-induced neurons in a cellular model in collaboration with the Serum Lab in pharmacy. Stroke has been shown to increase the susceptibility of developing neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and ALS-FTD, highlighting the necessity for research in acute stroke rehabilitation. My research allows me to explore my interest in cell biology while also pursuing something with a very relevant clinical application. In addition to giving me research experience, URI has given me the opportunity to grow academically, and I've gained many skills that will be applicable to my future in medicine. URI is an asset to public research in Rhode Island, and the extremely qualified professors that are here from around the world conduct research that impacts science on both a local and global scale. URI is starting to get a lot more well-deserved recognition for all the amazing work taking place in all our departments, and this is a perfect time to show more local students like myself that we don't need to leave home to get an amazing education and gain these hands-on experiences to be highly competitive applicants to employers and graduate programs. My undergraduate experience would not be the same if I didn't come to URI. The amazing faculty and mentors I've had and the research I've had the privilege of being involved with has been transformative. Thank you.
Please welcome Assistant Professor of Printmaking, Travis Smalley.
Hey everyone, let's get this started. Oh, this is really exciting. Okay, plugged in, there we are. Okay, good afternoon. I'm Travis Smalley, Assistant Professor of Print Media, formerly Printmaking, in the Department of Art and Art History. I'd like to thank President Parlange for inviting me to speak with you today about my generative art practice and the role of generative AI in the fields of art and design. Right now, we're watching an animation of my procedurally generated landscape program, Chanceflower. It's a program written in JavaScript that gives instructions to Photoshop to randomly generate flowers on a plane. This work was presented in my solo exhibition, Number Colors Burn Randomly, at Foxy Production in New York City. And I want to start with a little bit of personal background about myself. I'm an artist, designer, and educator working with digital printmaking, creative software, and computation. I'm interested in how artists can create generative image-making systems and build their own creative tools. I create computer programs that infinitely generate landscape paintings, emoji generation systems, playable mazes, interactive games, and textiles based on bitmap and pixel patterns. In my computer programs, each image is randomly generated and unique. No two images are the same. Through my artistic research, I've noticed symmetries between programming and painting, and also between programming and nature, which make me want to write computer programs and make paintings. This summer, I was invited panelist to the first Generative Arts Summit in Berlin. The event was held at the Akademie der Kunst, hosted by Herbert V. Franke Foundation. Franke was an early pioneer of computational art beginning in the 1950s. His work bridged art, math, and science. It was an honor to be there to speak about how digital generative systems can translate into print, and I'd like to thank the University of Rhode Island for helping me make this trip possible. In my art and teaching practice, I'm interested in exploring the ways images change when they are printed and when they are digitized. I experiment with systems of randomization and chance, both physical and digital, like creating liquid light shows and projectors with colored oils. And in the print shop, using marbling inks and tools to create marbled papers. I create computer graphics with shaders and various programming languages. I print these graphics out in various ways on various materials, like this composition printed on velvet. I currently work out of the Print Media Studio on URI's campus in Pastore Hall as our department awaits our new Fine Arts Center. I'm so excited about this, which we just had the beam signing last week, and everyone in the department is so excited. I work with students to combine various forms of analog and digital printmaking. In this image, a set of plastic plates was generated with code, then 3D printed, then inked with braille rollers, and will be run through the etching press to make a print on paper. Off campus, I work with fabricators locally and around the world to realize larger projects, like my hand-knotted wool pixel rugs, which are generated from code and produced by Nitya, a weaving studio in Uttar Pradesh, India. And I want to briefly speak about generative systems and generative AI. In the fall of 2023, I taught a course called Programming Images, an introduction to generative systems in art. Generative systems, whether programs, scripts, or recipes, are used to create and design. These scripts can be executed physically in the studio or run autonomously by code. Here, the Dutch design group called Conditional Design demonstrates a series of drawing scripts. Artists and designers all have their own scripts, and some are more rigid than others. I asked the students, what repeatable routines already exist in your creative process? What variables in your practice are subject to change? I believe generative systems, including generative AI, provide a framework to analyze our decision-making. As a tool, they assist in creation, allowing me as an artist to better define the images I want to make, while also encouraging experimentation, like saying, I'm unsure about the colors, so let's randomize them and find out. Generative AI text-to-image models, like DALL-E and Midjourney and Photoshop's generative fill tool, are great at exploring latent space. And I think that it is here where we will see the role of AI in art and design, not in creating the entire work for artists and designers, but supplementing and being a collaborator, a call and response. My class collaboration with ChatGPT-4 to create a generative music-making website by describing its functionality rather than coding it ourselves. We made this website just through conversation. While there are errors and hiccups, the class's previous coding experience is what helped us stay on track when we were using ChatGPT. We still relied on fundamental coding knowledge to make the project work. I believe it's essential for URI students to be fearless in exploring new technologies while continuing to build a strong foundation in their disciplines. As curious minds, we must first learn our histories, discover the work and research we're passionate about, and create our own work. These experiences will deepen and enrich our use of generative tools. Links to resources for my talk can be found on the artistic research platform Arena. Thanks for being here. Thank you especially to President Parlange and to my wonderful colleagues in the Department of Art and Art History. Thank you.
Well, I have to say, they are all amazing members of the community, and it's just, I really appreciate all your stories and your remarkable work. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Shayla, you've led the team now to 10 A10 championships and going to the NCAAs. Could you talk a little bit more about how the University of Rhode Island, maybe the athletic community, you mentioned it in your talk about how the other coaches are also very important to you, and I was just interested in maybe the connection between the coaches of all the different sports.
Yeah, the coaches, I see Trent over there at men's track and field. They won the first one, and I remember texting him saying, Trent, can you send me a picture of that trophy? So I could put it outside so the kids could look at it and say 2024. The coaches are oh gosh, it's a support system. I think every program could, and probably every department, could you use more money? Could you use more resources? Of course, right? I don't think any amount would be enough. But I think by talking to the other coaches and figuring out how things are done, I'm able to take that and kind of put it towards our program. Yeah. And I have to say, the support. We had a little accident with our boat, and this was 3 weeks before A10s, and a construction vehicle backed into it and totaled it. And again, I had to pivot. And the president stepped up and allowed me to use some of his emergency fund to secure a boat for our A10 championship. So without that, we wouldn't have got there. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you, Shayla. Yeah, it's. Bhavya, you spoke a bit about coming to URI and your appreciation. What do you think URI did when you were looking for universities that set it apart, and how your experience now as a student?
Of course. So one thing that drew me to URI was the fact that undergraduate research is so prevalent here. When I was like looking at other universities, I would try to find like research labs, but when I would go on their websites, they didn't really have a whole section dedicated to undergraduate research like URI does. And I think one of the most amazing things about URI is the fact that you can go to a professor your freshman year and just say, hi, I have interest in your lab, and 9 out of 10 times, or maybe 10 out of 10 times, they will welcome you with open arms and say that you could at least shadow in their lab. And over time, they will try to give you like your own independent project instead of just working under like a graduate student or just doing busy work in the lab. And I think that's one of the things that sets URI apart from a lot of different universities.
Thank you. Travis, you mentioned the new Fine Arts building. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's on its way. It's very exciting.
It's physical. There are
It's
beams
physical.
now. You know?
Yeah. Some with signatures.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, mine's in there.
Could you tell us a little bit? You mentioned just the excitement within your department. I know also in the visual arts, but also theater and music. You know, just the sense of the community of what this is going to mean going forward.
Yeah, and I would say that at first I was really excited about it for the Department of Art, right? Like that I was like, oh, there's going to be all this space for us to be. We're going to have so much light, and it's going to be wonderful. But when I was at the Beam signing, it kind of gave me a much broader perspective of what this space is going to be, how it's going to focus how it's going to be a hub for the local community, be it from for the region, be it from exhibitions to performances that are going to be in the space. There's lots of spaces in there that could be used in multiple ways. And so it's just really exciting about how all the potential use cases of what the new Fine Arts Center will be.
Shayla, you spoke about every year you want to get better, and because everybody else seems to be getting better too. What is, if you were to describe your ultimate goal for the team, where does one head in athletics? You spoke about the marvelous student athletes that you have. You know, they're good people, but
you know, I think in the sport of rowing, technology is key, equipment is key, and I think every year something new comes about, and I think we have to be on that cutting edge to be able to get the advantage. You know, I think there's always new stuff happening in training. We've talked about a few things.
all legal.
All legal, of course. You know, but I think being on top of that and being on top of the cutting edge of things is the way to get an advantage, you know. So we do that, and hopefully that will continue to get us a little bit more speed each year, you know, and our ultimate goal is to climb the ladder nationally and win A10s, and you know, we've got the top 20 in the country, and just like URI's #1, that would be really kind of fun to have that.
Yeah. Bavio, you were very generous with me this past year. We went to the State House to testify. It was awesome. So the support from the state is so important. But could you speak a little bit about the new the Yes on 2 campaign and the biomedical sciences and what that really would mean for you as a student?
Yeah, of course. So again, I feel like the Yes on 2 campaign is a great way for us to kind of reinvest in our already amazing university. We have so many amazing research spaces, but a new building with more research spaces and dedicated completely to the biomedical sciences would be a great way to kind of dedicate more space and more time to developing potential therapies for things like Alzheimer's and stroke. And even in the pharmacy department, they're working a lot on other diseases. So I think it's a great way for therapeutic like medicine and drug discovery to come out of URI.
Travis, you're relatively new to URI, so I don't want to really put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot. So
okay,
what does, in your opinion, does URI get right, you know, in terms of thinking about, say, the College of Arts and Sciences or your department?
Yeah. So I have an art school background, which is like usually very siloed, and something that immediately I noticed here when teaching print classes that I would have marine biologists and history students and people from math that were coming to take these art classes. And one of the really nice things is that when students come from other majors, they're so curious. And maybe they want to break from the thing that they're studying, or they want this other lens to look through it, but you just don't get that in an art-only environment the way you do here. Last semester, Tony Rendell made a book of crabs, where it was all these different relief prints of crabs that he was studying in marine biology. And so it's just, you'll get that, and there's so much curiosity and just willingness to try things, and willingness to be out of their comfort zone and be like, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to draw, but I'm gonna try it anyways. And it leads to really wonderful work.
Yeah. So that's great. Yeah, no, one thing I also appreciate about URI is how students will double or triple major across very different subjects and fields. And I like that welcoming effect of the faculty, so thank you.
Yeah.
I am going to finish by asking you all the same question. If you don't want to answer it, you don't have to tell me, but what is your favorite spot on campus, Shayla? And we can...
Can we extend it?
We can go down to the Narrow River if you want, or the beach in Narragansett. Yeah.
There's so many. You know, I have to say, when I finally get in my motorboat, my launch in the morning, after I get out of bed, after I have my coffee and getting myself there, that view, it's quiet. The athletes are all there getting ready, and we're ready to take on the day. And the Narrow River is just beautiful. It's beautiful, and I'm really fortunate to have it as my office in the morning.
Yeah, that's great. At 5:30 in the morning.
I see that sunrise every morning.
Yeah. Bhavya, do you have a favorite place on campus?
I do. I would have to say my favorite spot on campus is definitely the quad, especially during the springtime or like early fall. I love just sitting on the quad. It's a great spot to people watch, and I love people watching. So there's definitely that, but it's also a great spot if you just want to go get some work done, but also be outside. There's usually people playing like catch out there and like hammocks. It's just a great spot to be.
Yeah, the quad's nice. It's amazing how as you're walking through campus, you kind of navigate through there. You could go around it, but you're like, I want to go through it. At least that's how I am. My favorite place is the 3rd floor of the library. There is a very rich history of amazing artists who've worked here, and they tell the library to buy books. So I was researching like relief printing for students and finding these books from the 60s and 70s that are long out of print that you can't buy, and just going through the shelves. Like you go for one book, but then you end up with 5 other books that are kind of partially related to what you wanted. And now I'm making a shopping list for myself so I can try to find these books outside of school. Yeah, it's amazing. That's my favorite place.
Yeah. Well, I think it was marvelous conversation. Let's thank our colleagues.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, and I hope if you're able to join us at the Alumni Center, we could gather and continue the conversation. Thank you all very much for coming today.